All right, thank you for staying with me on the program On the Spot. My name is Aaron Isaac. Yes, it appears the Academic Staff Union is not going easy on the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu over some pressing demands. It considers the government making policies that appears to be not favorable to the universities in Nigeria. First of all, you can recall how the governing council of Nigerian universities were dissolved, and the failure of government to address its lopsidedness in terms of appointment has forced the union to take on the government, which the government had obliged to, with the president asking for a review of the list of the governing councils across these universities. Also, the Academic Staff Union of Nigerian University is not taking it lightly with the government of the day over its no pay, no work, policies. This unsettles ASUU, and ASUU is threatening a shutdown if government fails to look reasonably into its demands and plight. What does this mean to the Academic Staff Union, and what does this mean to tertiary, education in Nigeria? Is government body language telling us or tilting towards the direction that public varsities as well as monotechnics and polytechnics is not a thing of interest to it? Is the government toiling with the educational future of Nigeria? Well, we are here to set the agenda and further the conversation. This is On the Spot. The battle between ASUU and the government continues to linger, and it appears there's no end in sight anytime soon. A recent development points to the fact that the Academic Staff Union of Nigerian University has threatened to stop rendering services after the next 2 weeks if the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu fails to pay public university lecturers their withheld salary over the no work, no pay policy of government. Where does this leave students, and where does this leave Nigeria? What is the government thinking about the future of education in Nigeria? Is government playing politics with education in this country? Is government not willing to propel changes in the government in the running of the educational affairs of this country? Well, these are the issues that will be on the front burner, and I have in the studio joining me live Comrade Dr. Jubrin El-Maude. He is the chapter chairman of ASUU at Modibbo Adama University. He's joining me live on the program. Comrade, thank you so very much for joining me on the program.
Mr. Aaron, thank you. It's a pleasure being here this morning.
Where do we begin from? Because it appears the tussle, the feud, we are not seeing an end in sight anytime soon. Give us a sense of what is responsible for this lingering feud between ASUU and the federal government.
Good morning, Nigerians. The only thing that is making this feud to continue to linger between us and federal government is because of insincerity of the government. Everybody is aware there was this ASUU FGN agreement 2009. Everybody in Nigeria knows about that.
Exactly.
From 2009, Aaron, if counted 2016, is 2023 or 2024. It's been a long time. If government is serious, would have been put this on our back and we have moved forward. Yeah. Unfortunately, we are still following. We have signed agreement, we have signed memorandum of action, we have signed memorandum of understanding. There's no type of document with different nomenclature that we have not signed with the government. Up to now, government is reneging in signing or implementing that agreement that we unanimously signed without any being push anybody. We signed the sign, it's just that implementation. And sometimes they give us time. From so time we're going to do this. From so time we're going to do this. Often now, as I speak with you, they have not done anything apart from a few things that they have done.
When you say they've not done anything, but there are a few that they have done, talk us through some of the few things that seem to be a bit of excitement, at least since they've done that.
Particularly the issue of visitation panel. The government sent committees, they visit all the universities, then they've written the report. Even for them to release the report, we have to be shouting. We have to shout. We also want to go on strike before they now release the report to our universities. And in those reports, you need to see how collateral damages our universities went through. People need to see. Ordinarily, since we have power to assess all these informations, public informations, federal governments, federal universities need to release out this report for government, for Nigeria to see.
So for the public to see, yes.
The damages, the decay.
Because until the people see it, we will not understand the magnitude to which, or the extent to which the damage has been done.
Should make this available so everyone can access. They should make it accessible on the net.
But give us a sense of what you saw in that particular report and how deplorable the state of tertiary institutions
are. Some things in that report are bad. Decay in the way and manner our institutions have been cited, decay and manner in the laboratory, decay and everything in in hostels, in our offices, everything. We are short of everything in all the universities in Nigeria. Short of everything. There's no one place you will say, okay, this place is okay. Our laboratories are bad, our libraries are bad, our offices are bad, our hostels are bad, classrooms are bad. Students are still sitting down and studying on the floor in our Nigerian universities. It's clear. Everybody knows that. They are still there. In fact, they have gone from worst to bad, from bad to worse. This is what is there, and I think we need to do something about it. The problem is that people should not leave the fight only for us to be fighting for them. People should also look at the report, also lend us our voices, our hands, our power, to also say, government, please, staff ought to sit down and address these issues once and for all.
We're going to navigate these issues carefully, one after the other, but let's talk about one of the most recent developments between ASUU and the federal government, bordering around the governing council before the president had to issue a directive. Talk to me about what played out regarding the issue of dissolving the governing council in the first instance, because it was too early within the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu when we saw that particular release that the governing council of Nigerian University had been dissolved. And pretty much later, there was issue of pressure about reconstituting the governing council. Finally, there was one, and we seem not to get the clarity over what played out between.
You know, in universities, the apex governing body is the governing council. Governing council is consists of two, independent individuals. One, external members, two, internal members. The federal government has the prerogative to select whoever they want to be in the among the external members of the council, whereas the universities from the congregation and senate also they have the power to also bring the people through election, those that will represent internal people in that particular.
Not adoption, election.
Through election. You cannot adopt. However, let me start by saying that it is wrong, absolutely wrong and absolutely illegal for the president to say he has dissolved them. He has the right.
Is it not his prerogative?
He doesn't have the power constitutionally.
All right.
You cannot say you are dissolving somebody who has been given appointment letter. You are going to serve from so period to so period, 4 years. Majority of them just served for 2 years, after which they were sacked without any genuine reason. And that was why in University of Abuja, if you read through, they say some of the internal members have taken the university vice chancellor to court. He's trying to send an election to get in new people, whereas their own tenure has not lapsed. And that's why. So this is the root major problem we have with federal government. The federal government do not have rights, except where you find one of them wanting, maybe corruption, maybe something wrong. Because okay, I'm reviewing because of this. They don't have any reason. The only reason they have is that there are some people who have assisted during campaign that they want to pay them back, and they're trying to bring them into the university.
Isn't this an allegation?
It's not an allegation. It's true. Haven't you seen the list? There are majority of them are politicians. Few of them that are from the university. Ordinarily, people that are supposed to be chairman of the governing council should be chairman that have in-depth knowledge of how university is being run. You cannot go and bring anybody because he once contested in the ABC platform or any other platform, or you are supported, you are going to do an election, as you want to bring it to be chairman, when he does not have a basic rudiment that's happening within the four walls of the universities. These are the problem. So what you're saying, apart from the illegality we saw in the dissolution, we made a little press release. We made individually the zones. We made telling Nigerians, telling federal government that this thing is wrong. Dissolution is wrong. So what they're saying that in the last neck, one of the resolutions, reinstate them, let them finish their tenure. You cannot bring whoever you want to bring. That is illegal, because now this one is like setting bad precedence assuming, God forbid, something should happen to President Tinubu today, somebody is going to emerge as president maybe in the next 1 week or thereabout. He can say, okay, now I'm also dissolving these people because that was the president.
Okay.
But we don't want that bad president to be in our universities. Let them finish their tenure, then you can bring another one, fresh, whoever you want to bring, that one at least you will not have much problem. That's number one. Number two, there was general outcry from our union that there was lopsidedness, serious one, and unprecedented lopsidedness in selecting these guys. There's one particular state that has more than 40 members in that state that are in either chairman of this governing council of this university or member.
Okay.
Whereas there are others that only have one. So what is your justification? And unfortunately, I don't know I don't know the yardstick for the government followed in selecting these guys. And we were saying that apart from saying that it is illegal for you to, when there's some people that you resolve without any genuine reason, you remove them, please bring them back. You are not bringing some people that do not even have the knowledge of how university is being run. And apart from that, you also have selected many people from one state. And this is particularly the federal universities. We're talking about federal character. Yeah. That's why should be respected. And that's the reason why I think for the first time, or something like that, Tinubu gave us a listening ear and said, okay, the ordinary, the day will be the day they're going to be inaugurated. It's okay, now let them stop, let them review what they should do.
Now, let me pose this to you. If the president had not listened to, the pressure from ASUU, what would have happened?
We still remain based on our resolution. We maintain our resolution is that it is the reinstatement we want. The only problem is, ordinarily, we have gone to court. Well, in Nigerian court, if we go today, now what the president did and his cabinet was wrong, it will take us another 10 years before we can say, okay, now it's truly, it was wrong. And that by that time, another one have come, another one have come, another one have come.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be back in a short while. Do stay with us on the spot. All right, delighted to have you back. You're watching On The Sport, and what's on the front burner is ASUU versus the federal government, a feud that appears to be unending. These two parties have been at this since 2009, and this is 2024. We're still talking about an issue that has been lingering since 2009 that is unsettled, and you wonder what the government thinking is regarding university education in Nigeria. Is it one that truly wants to change the narrative to better the quality of graduates across Nigerian university or not? Comrade Dr. Jubrin El-Maude is my guest, and he is the chapter chairman, Modibbo Adama University of ASUU. Together, we're navigating these issues and trying to make sense of the developments. And before that particular timeout, we're taking a look at the debate over the dissolution as well as, reconvening the governing council. ASUU wants those whose tenure was short-lived to continue, but the federal government is saying no to that, on the contrary. But then again, the government had given in. Let's see what would change, if there would be any changes that would inspire ASUU not to take any further action. over and against the issue of the governing council. So, Comrade Doctor, let's get back to the issue. You're trying to lay the foundation. You talked about the lopsidedness. You talked about, governments wanting to compensate, because obviously that's an act of compensation. But other than that, if government still, after this particular period that it has jettisoned, the list that it brought out, if government fails to really address what ASUU considers as unfair, not looking at the balance in federal character and all that, what would ASUU do afterwards?
Well, ASUU, the way we operate is that whatever we want to do, an individual cannot decide on our behalf. What we normally do, we have to go to the congresses, inform them, and let hear from them what they want us to go and do. Then we now go on Comr, we discuss the issue at the zonal level. From there, we go to NEC and discuss whatever is the outcome of the NEC. That should be known for you whenever I come from NEC. I think we're going to have another NEC. We call it NEC for NEC, the emergency NEC. Probably end of this week.
End of this week.
Yes.
And so at that particular NEC, deliberations would be looking at the options and what next, to do.
Yes.
But another recent development that, once again, that's steady honest nest, is the fact that ASUU is given another 2 weeks ultimatum over government's inability to resolve the outstanding salaries over the no work, no pay policy of the federal government. What would you tell us about this particular development?
You see, Aaron, we went on strike for 8 months. We are not working. Let me tell Nigerians, appointment letter of lecturers stated clearly that lecturers are going to be paid because they are going to be doing 3 things. They will be teaching students, they will be doing research, and they will be doing community services.
Okay.
They are being paid because of these 3 things. I think it's not good and it's illogical for government not to refuse to pay us simply because one of the companies out of the 3, one of the companies, which is just 25% or thereabout, the company is not being done, or 30%. We have done the 60%, we have conducted research, and apart from this, we have resumed close to more than a year now. The backlog of the works that we didn't do, we have finished it. If we like, we are looking for trouble, we will have skipped those periods. So now, you are in first semester, that first semester has gone, second semester is gone, we are not going to do it. You are in 300 level, we are not going to continue at 300 level, we are going to go to 400 level now. Okay. That will have caused chaos in our university.
Of course.
We have gone back
that would have caused
where
chaos.
we stopped before the strike. We have done with it. We have finished second semester. We have finished first semester. We have done admission. We are now, like we are about to finish first semester exams this semester. We are going to. So by September, October, all of us, majority of universities will have been 2024, 2025. Meaning, students did not miss anything. Meaning that work that we didn't do during strike, we have finished it.
You've covered it up.
We have covered it. We are now in the process. So it's not good for somebody to say. That's why it's very hard for somebody to say it's not going to be or simply post on strike. And the question is, why were we on strike? Why you can someone say that ASUU was on strike simply because they want to go on strike? No, because somebody refused to do what is needful in the universities, and the universities are going down every day, and nobody said talk. And they say the bad person is not the person that is perpetrating evil, but the person who knows that this is evil and refuses to inform people that this is evil.
Now, 4 months have been paid, and then you still have some outstanding, yet to be resolved. Yes. But talk to me about that intricate moment where the former Minister for Labour and Productivity, Dr. Chris Ngige, had to, describe the action of ASUU as not being, not following the books. Reason why such action had to be taken against ASUU, and where the government sat during that particular, imbroglio. Do you think that the government's attitude showed the government that it's kind of responsive? And
government sometimes, instead of coming to clear terms and inform Nigerians, we will no longer fund public universities in Nigeria, public education in Nigeria. Government, instead of going to come and say we want to do to the universities what we have done to public primary school and primary school, let them come out clearly and boldly and inform Nigerians.
But what would that amount to if government does come out to say clearly we're not going to fund?
So the Nigerians will now take action that will do. Okay, government will accepting that it's true, there's no money in this country, close these universities. Or government, it's not true, you have money, fund these universities. Instead of then hiding behind unnecessary and flimsy excuses that this and that. Which books is he referring to? Which book? Nobody, apart from an academic allowance and salaries, nobody is giving us any money. Anytime you hear us fighting for money, we are fighting for the university administration. So if the university is not keeping their books, it's not the fault of us. It should be the fault of the government. And federal government should come with an internal mechanism that will check and see whether the universities are utilizing such money judiciously or not. Our responsibility as members of the union is that universities, we are fighting for the university and we're fighting for the general public. General public should see the reason in whatever we're doing. Instead of calling us names.
The public really see the light in what ASUU is doing, because I remember one of the greatest argument was the integration of IPPIS, and ASUU said, no, you don't need to integrate us into a foreign project. You don't need to integrate us into a foreign application that does not permits you, give you access to control your database within the country. It's control from overseas. You brought an argument where you said you have created something indigenously, which is UTAS. And I think it didn't go down well with the government. Before we knew it, there was a sister agency that was birthed in between your struggle between the federal government, Comr. And I beg to ask where Comr is, but that's not the center of this particular discussion.
Talk to me. Where are they? Where are they today now? Are they being paid the 8 months? They are not being paid. So that's the problem. Government was using them for political reasons. Now that government is gone. Nobody's around it. I was speaking about they have taken government to court. Please pay us our money. You created us. You gave us our this one. You gave us our mandate. You give us this one. We have our members. That's the problem. Where are they now? So sometimes some people that are not supposed to be in the universities, they mistakenly find themselves in the universities, so they will be misbehaving. What are they? What is that Comr is trying to do that is different from what we are doing? Trying to enhance the welfare of the members. That's what we are doing. Where are they now? You cannot find them.
Okay.
That's too bad for them.
All right. Why you describe that as too bad and unfortunate? Talk to me about how the government later on came to adopt UTAS as the means, or the method of payment for Nigerian university, and how well is UTAS working for these universities?
You know one thing, Aaron, federal government challenged us that if truly you say you have the technical know-how of coming with an indigenous software that is far better than this imported platform of making payment, bring it. We say we have it. And then, our members, University of Abuja, ATBU, ABU Zaria, University of Lagos, and other universities, they came on the set and they came to the platform. The platform went through serious and rigorous screening. All of it will pass it with 95, 97 as overall assessment. However, the government agency came out and said that despite the fact that we were scoring at 8 and we were the best, we were compared to the one created by SANU, our own, and that of IPS. Our own came first. The government said we have failed. This and that. Notwithstanding, we know it's politics. However, now that they realize that even before the last administration, around 2017, or about during Jonathan, we found Jonathan, we are not supposed to be here. The reasons are one: university is universal. Particularly, you're going to see somebody who's not even in academia, where he has the knowledge, practical knowledge on how something is being run. Maybe it's not in Nigeria, maybe it's in Ghana, or it's in England. You can bring him in and let him teach our students what that particular period, maybe a year before he goes back. That system will not allow that. Contract staff, that system will not allow that. Visiting, that system will not allow that. Sabbatical, that system will not allow that. So it's not good for us. Don't say it's true. We are very remote. In fact, we are not being enrolled at that time. But this one, because they have bad intention. Their bad intention was that they want to suffocate the university system. They want to suffocate the lecturers. They want to kill everything about public universities. That was why they forced us. They forced our members to be there. Now that they realize again that we're not supposed to be there, instead of us to put us where we're supposed to be, if we're looking for leakages, UTAS will show you the leakages in universities. Because UTAS will show you the number of professors in each department, how much he's earning, if a particular vice chancellor is saying you that I need more professors, you can go. Why are you saying you're looking for more professors when you have enough professors in the department? It's only you task that can do that one. It can tell you the staff, it can tell you how much they earn, when they have employed, their date of birth, when are they going to retire. It is there. The task can do that one. So if you're looking for control system in the universities, if you want to know whether universities are squandering money, university administration are squandering money, lavishing money in-house, because the government intention is not to fight corruption in the system. Up to now, the government said they're taking us back to deepness, which also has its own shortcoming. Despite the fact it's far better than IPPS, because at least it's not a foreign platform.
It's a local platform.
It also has its own leakages, its own weaknesses, and it cannot protect the issue of corruption in the system. We're thinking that by now, government is working, since UTAS scored 98, please, enrolled into UTA.
So,
And that UTA is not going to be controlled by our union. It's going to be controlled by NUC and the vice chancellor. So I don't think why government should be afraid of using that. We are not going to control it. It is their own. We are going to give them. The only thing probably is, okay, now, please, because of the trademark, be giving our union every something small. There cannot be 1 over 10 of what they are paying foreign countries. Yes, sir.
Help us understand why these issues appear to be unending between ASUU and the federal government. Maybe you could speak your mind as a union for once for Nigerians to make sense of what is going on regarding tertiary education in this country. What does ASUU think the government is doing or not doing to improving the quality of education at the tertiary level?
The World Bank is on hell-bent policy and program intention of ensuring that they don't have universities in Africa, particularly in Nigeria. So most of the policies are being hatched outside, and our indigenous elites are being used to enforce it.
Doesn't this amount to finger pointing?
It is not.
Do we have proof to this matter to say these are things that we have on ground, these are things that we have seen,
yes,
to justify what our allegations are regarding the World
Bank? This one is not allegation, it's a common knowledge. Everybody knows. Most of these policies are Western policies, particularly the World Bank, IMF. I try to see that they have bastardized education, because it's only where you have educated people that if the government trying to do something that is wrong, they tell the government this one is wrong. If the government don't listen, at least they will tell the government. But where you have uneducated people, automatically whatever government does, people will be clapping hands, whether it's bad or wrong. So that's why they will not allow us to have free. And provided blood is flowing in our body, there will never time that we will not tell government this authority is not good. We will tell government. We tell government that this is not good. The police is not government, it's not good, it's not good for our system, it's not good for education, it's not good for our country. For instance, even this ASUU, we have informed government that this is not good. Let Tinubu, the governors, the ministers, come and tell us how much loan have they collected to fund their education. Let them come out, say, now, this system is very good because during our time we collected loan, and that was what we used in funding our education. It's free. And the amount of money we have now, there was never a time we had money like that in the history of this country.
The government says the resources is meager. It cannot afford to, spend these resources across different ministries, agencies, and departments. That informed the issue of the student loan.
Did you agree with the government that we don't have money? If we do not have money, how would Emefiele, Idris, the one-time accountant general, where did they get that money? These ministers that were building hotels, building new universities, and when before they become ministers, they weren't having this asset. How would they get the money if there's no money in this country? Nigeria is one of the most expensive democracy. How are we getting the money to pay all these people? And there's no money in this country. So for somebody, it baffles me, it irritates me for me to see somebody trying to convince me there's no money in this country. How are we getting this one? Our budget, despite the fact that we collect a loan to finance it. What about the loans we have been collecting? What are you using the money for? What about the voucher loot that get all the gates that we have collected? We are recovering them from abroad. What are you using them for? The ones they collected, they say they have collected this $1,000 for a voucher loose. You know, hear about it again. What happened to it? So for somebody to come and tell you there's no money in this country to fund education, it's a matter of priority.
Is this what gave birth to why ASUU had to speak some couple of days back regarding the funding of education? That Nigeria, budgetary allocation for education is the least across West Africa.
Yes, it is. At least we keep saying the government. If the government is honest, the major bone of contention, Aaron, is this: the elites refuse to allow their children to attend universities in Nigeria. How can you go to see any public school to see the son of a chairman attending that primary school? Assuming his own child is attending that school, he will be serious about that school. During my time, all the elites in Zaria, where I was doing my primary school, all the elites, we are in the same class with them.
But it's a question of choice.
No.
Where you choose kids to attend. It's
a question of priority. You are there not because of your money. You are there probably because you have been elected by the masses. And before you, your parents were poor. Some of the parents were living up hills. The Awolowo, the Zig, Sadona, because of the love we have with this country, they have to follow them up to the hills, bring them down the hills, despite the fact that their parents don't want them to go to these formal schools. But they forced their parents to allow them to go because they were thinking that now that the parents, and now that these children saw what we did to them, they will do more than that to the remaining generation. Unfortunately, the reverse is the case. Nigeria has been divided into two: the elites and house in this side. You hardly can see us meeting in a particular place. There's no place where we, the masses, and the elders who are electing are meeting. Our schools is different from theirs. Our market is different from it. Where we go and relax is different from it. There's no way we meet. The only time we meet is when they want to come for campaign. They give us salt, they give us Maggi, and we're going to go share. We kill ourselves because of an them. Unless we sponsor a bill. But once we have been elected by the public, everything about you should be public. Your children should be public. Your wife should be public. Everything should be public. By the time you know you are the governor, the minister, the house members of House, all of them, their children, their biological children are attending the schools where the common man is attending. They will be serious about that. But they will not, hardly can you see them going there.
And do you see that scaling?
It's possible we want in this country.
Because the possibility hangs in the balance. It's quite in doubt. It's quite in doubt.
It's not hanging.
But I recall former head of state, Sanya Bacha, General Sanya Bacha of blessed memory. His children attended a public school. And same thing with other leaders.
VUK, all of them were there.
Other leaders
and that was
in
Nigeria. Why you see, that time there were massive infrastructure development of our universities.
But how did ASUU come to, because I don't want to speak ASUU's mind on this one, because I saw the release and ASUU said they had to sample, what other states within West Africa give for education, and they found that Nigeria is about the least.
It's true. Ghana is giving like more than 30%. Other places are giving 35, 40%. Malaysia is giving 40 and above, 50% Malaysia and under you. Nigeria is giving 10, 4, 6. It's a matter of priority.
But in the light of that same argument, ASUU had to also commend some states, because here in Nigeria, some states are giving about 30% of their state budget for education, and ASUU had to commend these states. Beyond the states, talking about it nationally, what do you think can get us to that particular, standard? I'm not saying we should go above it for now, because the practicality of going above it is also in doubt.
You see, Aaron, as well as it's a matter of priority. If the government is prioritizing education, one thing people fail to understand is once your education is standard, everything in Nigeria will be standard. It's because from that education, you produce engineers, you produce highly sophisticated military personnel, you produce so many things. But by the time your education system is not good, your education system is not automatically, the remaining thing is not good. That's why I see collapse, engineers, building, collapsing. Doctor will go and do surgery, you forget the seizures inside. So many bad things happen in this country because our education system that creating these people is not doing well. It's not a priority. And one thing I keep saying, if Nigerians want this country to be good, the country will be good. But we are okay with the way the country is moving. Okay, let us continue to fold our arms in total despair, watching these things going on, and it continue to go on unabating, and all of us will cry for it one day. That's my point.
So where does ASUU, where does ASUU see the people, Nigerians, in all of its struggle? Are Nigerians properly briefed? Do they have the full content of what ASUU is trying to do to once again have government overhaul the tertiary education in Nigeria, or the people who are left behind and are just allowed to, play catch up in understanding what ASUU is trying to do?
We are trying our best, Aaron. Avenues like this, our congresses, and other things we used to do, we have to inform people that this is what we are trying to do. For instance, we told Nigerians that the body language government as at that time before the start, they don't want to increase school fees. People are saying we are lying. They have seen that one. In my universities, last semester, that was second semester 2022-2023 session, a lot of you couldn't afford to pay the school fees for secondary school. And the magnanimity of the university was saying, instead of you to pay at once, it's not going to be possible. Why want to per semester? Maybe you're going to pay 70,000 naira, pay 35,000 naira this semester, 35,000 second semester. A lot of people, almost all of them, paid for second semester. But for second semester, some senators and some members of House had to come and pay on behalf of their members from their local government and their wards, and that's why some of them. Now, even now, this first semester, the university decided to close their eyes. There are a lot of people that are not happy with school fees. Simply they can't afford to pay. And now, what they are paying is not even school fees. It's services fee. The main school fees is going to come because.
When you say the main school fee is going to come, should that be like a threat?
No, it's not the truth. What they pay now
is the truth?
It's the truth. What they pay now is the hospital, ID card, exams fee, all this on local, whatever. But the main school fees For people in the social sciences, social and sciences is going to be like 450,000 naira. Others is be 500 or 700,000. They are going to pay. Nigerians will pay. And if you cannot afford to pay 70,000 naira now, tell me when are you going to afford to pay 350,000, 400,000 or 500,000 naira schools? And that thing, if care is not taken, it's going to come.
Isn't it the justification for the student loan that if school fees would, rise to this high, and the student loan will cater for it?
Aaron, Nigeria is good in copying models from abroad. People in abroad, they are honest. People in abroad, whatever they want to do, they have the deep intention that what they want to do, want to execute to the logical entity. And before doing that,
the United States of America, as we speak, is struggling with this. This same policy, the US is struggling with it. Joe Biden has been like hell over heels in trying to resolve the issue of the student loan and the backlog that there is.
Obama collected that loan. You couldn't afford to pay until his end of the second term as office before you could pay that one as a president of US. Telling me, are there jobs in this country that people will finish school and go and get money and pay?
Because even in South Africa also, we hear about the drag between students and government, those who have benefited of the student loan.
People killing themselves, committing suicide because of the could pay. So what is the essence of you giving somebody loan and at the end of the day, somebody go out and commit suicide? Isn't it better to increase grant for them? We have enough money. If as a union, initially we used to give 100,000 naira per child per kid per university, we now have increased to 200,000 naira per 2 kids. Per 2 students, two. Initially, one for each university, whether federal, whether state, 100,000 naira. Now we have increased it to 2. If you can get that as a union, one union, I think if the government is serious, they can increase their school fees. It can increase their grants, reduce their school fees, make sure that the university is working. And after all, Aaron, what is the benefit of you giving me loan when what I'm going to buy is not effective, it's not efficient, it's not good?
Another call by us is the fact that the current tax deduction is kind of meager, and ASUU wants it to be increased so that it can cater for the needs of tertiary institutions in Nigeria. Your thought on that?
The tax, the federal government is
2%.
Is 2%. Ordinary should be 2% of basic salary and not 2% of consolidated. There are components of our salaries, of our entitlement that are not supposed to be taxed. Things like the rent and other allowances are supposed to be tax deductible. What the IPS is doing is taxing everything about the consolidated salary, which is making people to be paying through their nose too much amount. The professor is collecting less than 4,000, is paying almost 90 something as tax. It's too high. It's too high. Apart from other deductions like housing fund and what have you, these things are not there. They are too much on our members. So government should look at that they should disintegrate the salary into basic salary. So I say, okay, this is the target, 2% should be on basic salary. That's why nobody's going to cry out for that job. But the remaining ones, taxing them, they're not supposed to be taxed.
And it's not just with ASUU. That's what is applicable to most persons who are workers in Nigeria, especially in the private sector. They tax your consolidated salary, which is very wrong.
Yes.
Instead of the basic salary, because truth be told, hospital, healthcare should not be taxed. Rent should not be taxed. But unfortunately, we have that happening because even my own salary, I'm taxed on my consolidated salary, not on my basic salary.
Before we go, please, I saw one document yesterday from Federal Revenue that based on the new amendment made on the issue of gross income, that everything now should be taxed and not the basic salary. I saw it yesterday. So it's going to be more suffocation. And what government is doing in Nigeria, which is Nigeria government is good at doing, is they give you this one and they go back and collect more than what they give you to this one. You say they have increased the salary. What they collect behind the scene is more than what they give. So sometimes they're going to be better not to increase. However, continue to talk.
On a final note,
yes, sir.
2 weeks ultimatum.
Yes, Indian Saturday.
To address no work, no pay, and the outstanding salaries.
Yes, not even that one. All those issues, including our renegotiation of 2009.
All the issues?
Because since 2009, then nobody has increased one kobo for us. And our Nigeria, I don't know, there were 50 billion naira was captured in 2023 budget for an academic salary. We're not preparing 25 budget. What happened to the money you have captured in the budget? 50 billion naira for an academic allowance, 170 billion naira for the renovation of universities. All of them have been captured. One to say it have been appropriated. It is in the budget. Nobody hears about that. The 150,000 for our members, nothing. 170 billion. Who eats the money?
Well, that's a rhetorical question that I cannot provide an answer to. Well, always, Comrade Dr. Jubrin El-Maude, it's a pleasure to have you join me on a program like this. So bear your mind over the lingering feud between the ASUU and the federal government. And ASUU is making Nigerians to feel it's on the right course in its demand to improving the quality of university learning. But the government, on the other hand, feels ASUU is insensitive. And ASUU is not, reasoning with the government regarding where the country today is. I don't know who is fair in this instance, but the people are the judge on this one. And I hope they will become the right judge in this instance. Thank you so very much, Comrade Jubrin. It's a pleasure. And thank you too for your time and company, as always, on the program. I thank you for listening to the view, thoughts, as well as suggestion of the comrade I had on the program today. Be the judge. Don't just sit on the fence. Look at this things critically. What the government drive is and what ASUU is saying is what students are paying today across Nigerian university. It's just a paltry sum. The real school fees is coming. And you'll be talking about 400 to 500,000 naira in Nigerian university. My name is Aaron Isaac. Let me see you again next time on the program. Bye for now.